Of all of the supplies you use when you're painting watercolour, I believe the quality of your paper is the most important. Hi, I'm Louise, and in this video I'm going to show you the difference between painting on 100% cotton watercolour paper and 100% cellulose or wood pulp paper. I want to show you a Freesia that I painted on Arche 100% cotton paper, and at the same time I'll show you the same Freesia painted on 100% cellulose paper. So you'll be able to see me paint a few different areas of the same flower side by side on the different papers. I know that good quality watercolour paper is expensive and not everyone can afford it. You might question the expense of buying it when you're first starting out, but it really does make a difference to the way the paint behaves. If you're using wood pulp paper and you're struggling, it may have something to do with your paper. I don't use wood pulp paper, I've never used it. When I first started painting in watercolour, I'd been painting in acrylic paint for about 10 years. And I knew that a good quality canvas made a huge difference when I was painting. And I figured that good quality paper would be important for success in watercolour painting. So I started with Arche paper, which is 100% cotton. I bought the small A5 size pads and I painted a heap of little paintings on them. After a few months, when I was feeling a little more confident, I bought some Arche A4 size pads, which are the next size up. From there, I went to A3 size paper and then A2 size paper. And then I painted on full sheets. With wood pulp paper, the water and the paint tends to sit on top of the surface. It doesn't soak in as quickly and as evenly as it does on 100% cotton paper. And that could be causing you some difficulties when you paint. I bought a pad of cheap wood pulp paper a few weeks ago. This is Reeves 100% cellulose paper. It's been sized internally and externally. The sizing on the paper determines how the paper will resist water penetration and abrasion. It affects the way washes will sit on the paper, and it also affects the degree of luminosity when it's dried. So this paper has been sized and the Arche paper is sized as well. I painted this Freesia on it, and I painted the same Freesia on Arche paper to compare the two. Because my Arche paper was larger, I ended up painting in some more flowers around the main one. I wasn't expecting the Reeves paper to perform as well as it did. I thought I'd struggle with it more than I did. It definitely was not as enjoyable as painting on the Arche paper, but overall it wasn't that bad. I tried out some sample swatches on both papers first to see what I was up against. And then I painted the Freesia on 2 other pieces. I'll show you the results on the sample swatches now. The Arche paper is at the top and the wood pulp paper is down the bottom. I'm painting a wash of permanent rose over both of them on the dry paper. And as I was painting each of them, they felt much the same. Now I thought I'd try wet on wet. So I'm wetting the paper with some water. Okay, while that's wet, I drop the paint on. This colour I'm using is permanent rose. The Arche paper at the top feels familiar to me, of course, but the wood pulp paper down the bottom feels a bit more slippery. Feels like my brush is slipping over the surface of the paper. Part of that, I'm sure, is because I'm not used to painting on it and it feels unfamiliar to me. I'll leave them to dry and see what they look like when they're dry. Now I thought I'd paint one colour onto the dry paper and then I'd paint another colour over the top while it was wet to see how the 2 colours blend together. I'm painting on the dry paper on both pieces. Here I'll take a bit of the excess paint that's sitting on top of the wood pulp paper. And then I paint some French ultramarine onto the wet paint. Here you can see that the paint is sitting on top of the paper again, on the wood pulp paper. It's not soaking in the same way that it is on the Arches paper. Notice too on the centre shape that I did on the wood pulp paper, you can see that the paint is pooling on the right hand side and the left hand side, whereas on the Arches paper it's not. It's been absorbed into the paper. Now I thought I'd blend the paint from its mass tone through to its undertone. So I'll be painting dark to light. And I want the paint to show a smooth sweep from dark to light. All I do is keep adding water to my brush. And there I think you can see that the blend isn't quite as smooth on the wood pulp paper. There's a darker section through the middle. Then I glazed one colour over the top of another. I wanted to see if I would disturb the first layer of paint with this second layer on the wood pulp paper. I dried both of the pink rectangles with my hairdryer. I didn't really see much difference there between the two papers. Here I've got the wood pulp paper on the left and the Arches paper on the right. With this circle here that I'm painting, I wanted to blend two colours together again. With the circle on the wood pulp paper, you can see I'm trying to absorb some of that excess paint that's on there, whereas I don't have to do that on the Arches paper. Before the paint dried on both circles, I took my damp brush and I started to remove a highlight. My brush is slightly damp and it removes some of the paint to reveal the white of the paper. There, the highlight on the Arches paper looks more natural looking to me. It has softer, more blended edges, whereas the highlight on the wood pulp paper looks a bit more unnatural and stiff looking to my eye. While the circles were still wet, I added some French ultramarine on the right lower corner, again to see how the two colours would blend together. And again, I noticed because the paint tends to sit on top of the wood pulp paper, it doesn't absorb down into it. The blend isn't as gentle and soft and natural looking as it is on the Arches paper. I'll wait until they dry and I'll have a look at them again. Then I wanted to see how easy it was to remove paint after it had dried. So here I've got my little eradicator brush. It's wet, but the paper's dry on both papers. And I didn't really find much difference here. It was quite easy to remove the paint from the wood pulp paper. Maybe it was a tiny bit more difficult on the Arches. Looking at them after they dried, the colours are good on both papers. This is the Arches paper and this one is the wood pulp paper. You could see that the main issue I found with the wood pulp paper was that the paint and the water tended to sit on top of the paper, making blending a little more difficult. The other thing that I noticed after I finished was that the wood pulp paper is quite fragile. I had them both taped to a board, and when I removed the tape on the wood pulp paper, it tore along the edge. Okay, they're the samples. Now I'll show you the differences when I painted the Freesias. Okay, I've got the wood pulp paper on the top and Arches paper on the bottom. Here I'm painting one of the petals in on the Freesia on wet paper. You can see how the paint bleeds on the Arches paper. You can see it creeping, whereas on the wood pulp paper at the top, it tends to sit. It bleeds a little bit, but not as much. You can see it pooling on the left-hand side of the petal there, whereas on the Arches paper, it's spread out more evenly. Here on both of them, I've taken the paint out of my brush And I'm moving the paint that's on the paper over to that right-hand corner so that I've got a lighter side to the petal. So the left-hand side is darker, the right-hand side will be lighter. Before that paint dried, I mixed a bit of French ultramarine into my magenta to darken it slightly, and I painted that onto the left-hand side. So both petals are still wet. You can see the paint again spread more evenly on the Arches paper. This is my reference photo. That petal has got a highlighted section on the right-hand side. So I thought I'd use my brush to lift a bit of paint there to reveal the paper. I use a slightly damp brush. I try to make sure that my brush is a similar wetness to the paper. If it's got too much water on it, it will flow onto the paper and disturb the pigment that's there. And just like the test patches that I did, I noticed that the highlighted areas had softer edges on the Arches paper. The edges of the highlights seem a bit more stiff and rigid on the wood pulp paper. Working on a petal on the right-hand side now, the top section of it is a bit darker. So I'm going to paint a darker colour there, but I'm wetting the paper first. And here I've got my magenta. You can see the paint pooling on the wood pulp paper on the left. As I said, on the test paper it felt more slippery. You can see why. The paint sits on top on the wood pulp paper, whereas the paint is absorbing into the Arches paper, making it easier to blend. I went back to the wood pulp paper and tried to soften away that edge a bit more with a damp brush. I waited a little while until some of the moisture had absorbed. The paper's still damp here, but it's not as wet as it was. And I'm using a bit more of the magenta with my zero brush. Then I dried them both off with the hairdryer so that I could continue on with that petal. When they were both dry, I wet the next section of the petal. Okay, my paper's wet. Then I painted some more of the magenta onto the wet paper. Looking at it now, I can see that the paint edges again on the wood pulp paper were giving me a little bit of trouble here. Even though I'm painting on the wet paper, the edges weren't quite as soft as I wanted them to be. They weren't as soft as what they were on the Arches paper. I ended up coming back with my little brush and teased the paint out a bit more to soften that edge further. Then again, I used my zero brush, the little fine one, to paint on some fine lines. I think the water on the paper there was annoying me a little bit on the wood pulp paper, whereas the water had soaked in a bit on the Arches paper. Yeah, there was still too much water sitting on the wood pulp paper there. So the wood pulp paper took a bit of getting used to. This petal here needs a bit of colour inside it, so again I painted on the wet paper. This time I don't want to go too dark, so I'll spread the paint out a bit. The paint went on quite easily there. It was nice and smooth, wasn't patchy at all. I wanted to leave a bit of the paper showing at the bottom. Then I came back with a bit more paint and I darkened the top section while the lighter wash was still wet. You can see the paint bleeding, gently travelling over the Arches paper, but again it tends to sit in one spot on the wood pulp paper. Again, I let it sit for a little while to let some of the water absorb into the paper so that I could paint these fine lines on there. On this petal on the right, I wanted to increase the colour on it, so I painted another layer of the magenta over the top. I was able to see here if I was going to have any potential trouble with the paint lifting after it had dried. Sometimes you can get in a mess when you might disturb the layer below by painting over it, particularly if it's a dark colour, but it seemed to be okay when I did this. And here's the finished paintings. As I said, I was quite surprised with how the water pulp paper performed. My Freesia on the pulp paper turned out better than I expected. That's more than likely because I've got experience painting in watercolour. I'm not so sure that I would have had success with it if I was just starting out. I think it might have frustrated me if I was new to painting in watercolour. So be aware of the limitations of wood pulp paper, and maybe the frustrations that you have when you're painting watercolour might be because of your paper. I hope there was some useful information in this video for you. Let me know in the comments what you'd love to see in upcoming videos. I must give a huge thank you to all of you who have liked and subscribed and have helped to build my community here. I'll see you in the next video. With wood pulp paper, with wood pulp paper, oh, I can't get it out. Wood pulp paper. It doesn't soak in as quickly and as evenly. Like a professor. Why is it misbehaving?
Why? Because you're wearing a very
floppy top?